Recent developments suggest the existence of a new Cold War, in which tensions will periodically flare, prompting apprehension among individuals and entities operating in Russia. I'm Jonathan Keemer, Senior Intelligence Manager for the Europe and Russia CIS region here at iJet International. I've worked in the private security sector for nearly 10 years and have a master's degree in international security from King's College London, and before that, a commercial background in the defence sector, principally in the Far Eastern markets. The FIFA 2018 World Cup is due to kick off on June the 14th. Organisers have sold more than 1.5 million tickets worldwide, and thousands more foreign nationals are scheduled to visit the country during the tournament. This webinar will discuss the recent diplomatic tensions between Russia and Western countries and their implications for those operating in Russia in the coming months. Tensions between Western countries and Russia are at their highest point in several decades. Suspected Russian complicity in chemical weapons use by the Syrian regime, the poisoning of a former Russian intelligence agent in Salisbury, UK, allegations of Russian interference in the 2016 US presidential election, and the Kremlin's ongoing support for separatists in eastern Ukraine all fit a pattern that the West perceives illustrates Moscow's increasingly aggressive foreign policy and rejection of accepted international norms. Political divisions within the West may have encouraged President Vladimir Putin to underestimate the potential reaction to Russia's increasingly assertive approach. A perception of the West's unwillingness to confront other controversial Russia-linked actions in recent decades, such as the occupation of the Crimea and the shooting down of Malaysian Airlines Flight 17 in 2014, and the purported murder in 2006 of the Russian defector Alexander Litvinenko, suggested that the West lacked the resolve to confront Russian aggression. However, the West's reaction to the Salisbury attack has been more robust than many observers might have predicted. Nearly 30 countries have expelled Russian diplomats in recent weeks. International sanctions against Moscow over the Ukraine conflict remain in place. In addition, the US Treasury has recently expanded economic sanctions against Russian individuals and select businesses in response to Russian interference in the presidential election. Nevertheless, many countries, including the UK and other EU members, have shown a marked reluctance to expand the sanctions regime. Any additional Western action in the coming months will likely be cosmetic, highly targeted against individuals, and unlikely to have a considerable impact on travel to or business relations with Russia. On the other side, Western diplomatic expulsions have so far been met with a broadly proportionate Russian reaction. The Russian economy is suffering, partly due to the low price of oil and partly as a result of existing Western sanctions. The Kremlin is unlikely to risk overplaying its hand and triggering more serious economic penalties from the West. However, the Kremlin will continue to issue belligerent statements aimed at demonstrating Russian strength to domestic and international stakeholders. Victory Day parades in major Russian urban centres on May the 9th will provide a platform for such rhetoric, while simultaneously showing Russia's military capability. Further high-profile military deployments to Syria are also possible. Such announcements will be calculated to demonstrate Russian might, while significantly minimizing the potential for a sharp deterioration in Russia's relationship with the West. Moscow also doesn't want to jeopardize the success of the 2018 FIFA World Cup in June and July, its flagship international event for the year. Widespread restrictions on Western travellers and business operations are very unlikely. Up to 1.5 million soccer supporters are scheduled to attend the competition. If the international dispute continues at its current level, Western travellers could individually reconsider their need to visit Russia. If travellers from relatively affluent countries currently critical of Russia, such as Australia, France, Germany, and the UK, stay at home, it could significantly curtail the intended economic benefit. Moscow could in fact adopt a more conciliatory tone in the coming weeks to reassure potential visitors. So, in summary, although tensions are high, neither side wishes the dispute to deteriorate further. Apart from high-profile face-saving but largely superficial tit-for-tat punitive measures, both sides will likely seek to minimise any further escalation. Despite occasional public pronouncements of the existence of a new Cold War, significant widespread impact on economic relations and business travel between Russia and the West is unlikely in the medium term. Thank you for taking the time to learn about iJet's assessment of the short-term trajectory of Russia's relations with the West. For more information, follow our World Cup coverage at www.ijet.com. If you have any questions surrounding security at the World Cup, tweet us with the hashtag AskIJet.